Imagine finding that very special someone that makes your heart beat faster. And then again, being blessed with that unique and uncommon opportunity of getting hitched to that person and then riding off into a lifetime of sunsets together. Wow, just imagine it. Some would say it's true love or amazing luck, patience, and then some.
Others will say that love is overrated, and they say pile on the money, marrying for financial stability, or marrying a partner that can provide all your financial needs. They say is great. They call it planning purposefully. What about you? What do you call it?
Well, I've also heard some people say that wisdom is really coming to play when you strike a fine balance between the finances and then love. And when it gets well oiled with great communication and teamwork. If you ask me, Patience, one can't really go wrong from that point, or can something still go wrong?
Well, you can never tell. For centuries, people have debated what exactly makes a marriage to work. Is it the romance, the butterflies in the tummy, and the deep emotional connection? Or is it the financial stability, security, and the power of wealth?
Wow. I'll say I'd advocate for a little bit of this very interesting scenario you have painted. Let's look at it this way. Take a little bit of the love, mix it nicely, in a serum with some money. Advocate for excellent communication, speak your mind, and then teamwork, knowing that we're riding this rodeo together. And if I push my partner off, or he falls off, or she falls off, it's no longer the perfect team that we planned from the get-go.
Exactly. Well, it is what it is, Thelma. Today we'll be looking at both sides. It is what it is, Thelma. Today we'll be looking at the both sides of the coin, because that's what we do on the show. It is your favorite, like I say, like a Frenchman, favorite. Weekend show, Weekend Deal, coming to you from the network service of the NTA. I am Patience Eloy Abba.
And I am Thelma Obaze, always warmly welcoming you to Weekend Deal. You are an integral part of our conversation today. And it's getting pretty hot in here. This gist, your contribution is relevant to make sense of all we have put together today, talking about love and money. What is your choice when you're getting hitched?
It's your favorite weekend show coming to you from the network service of the NTA. It's a special Saturday, and I say it is special because this is one of these Saturdays where we make millionaires. The Citizens Charity draw what happened today. And today, it's all about for money or for love. What are you marrying for? People would advise that you marry for love, because love is considered one of the bedrocks, one of the foundations of a long and lasting marriage. But that opinion is changing, because people say what you bring to the table is equally as important. Our background by Francis Ogbe will tell us more.
On what is perceived than what is real. Real relationships with that quantifiable expression that becomes legacy of love, friendship, a legacy of respect and regard, exchange that brings about profitable engagements, all begins with truth. Truth, being real, being authentic, and learning not to be a liar in terms of who you are to the next person.
And I want to carry my love away to a place she loves. I'm a man, I want to impress.
Even if you find yourself online, you have to find some real time to come in for premarital counseling. You must meet parents. You can't meet parents online. You can't. No. These things must. At the end of the day, do you have babies online? Do you understand? Do you have your first kiss, your first embrace online? So nothing online at the end of the day becomes real. And you know, the thing about a life partner is always a risk. When you get into marriage, you get into the real deal, and that deal demands that you now see who you are married to. So marriage is deep. I tell people better not to marry at all than to marry in the name of fulfilling some online impact. Well, these days, this generation say, let them just marry off. Let them just have the whole thing. You know, it's like a drama. It's a TV show. You have a destination engagement, a destination marriage. There was something we're laughing at. Somebody wanted to propose marriage. Not like this. So go and get the gold drama. The flowers must be arranged going up, and I don't know, and I must pretend like I don't know. I say, oh my God, OMG, I got the ring. Hello.
This loving is for life. I'm loving you for life.
No romance without finance. You need money to be real about a relationship, about marriage, matrimony. It's not just for the man, it's also for the lady. Where you see this person is not serious about a source of income, is telling you that I'm a businessman or I'm a businesswoman, I don't know what that means. You see someone who's all she's thinking, she never thought of helping you save money to buy land. Instead, she wants the most expensive rented apartment so she can show her friends that when she got married, she moved into Maitama instead of going to Nyanya to begin. To start in a one-room apartment, she wants to start in a penthouse so she has arrived. And you have arrived nothing. My first birthday in courtship, my husband forgot. Look, this was not funny. Only 1 month into courtship, and the man who says he's in love with you, marry you for the rest of his life, all of that. Around 4 p.m. I said, haven't you forgotten something? He said, I said, my birthday. Hey! He said, okay, Dayo, come. Let me pray for you. My first birthday gift was prayer. Prayer from my husband. He said, let me pray for you. Never, he put his hands on me and prayed for me. But honestly, when I was kneeling down there, I'm like, Holy Spirit, please help me understand. Am I really taking this brother on? This is just a setup. Those of you out there, be intentional. First of all, love you. Celebrate you. Don't be miserable. Don't be depressed. Look at yourself and determine that today I'm going to be happy. Don't expose yourself to what your virtue, your own outlook on love. Don't allow yourself to be exploited.
Our focus on Weekend Deal today will be, for love or money, what are you marrying for?
Wow, Francis, that's quite in-depth. For love or for money, what are you marrying for, or what have you tied the knot for? Because some people have married already. And we had a marriage counselor there, Auntie Dayo, giving advice. Happiness ought to be intentional. Patience was talking earlier about proposals. Yes. I think it's the in thing nowadays now. Did you see someone proposing to me at the car park last week? I'm like, wow.
No, the thing I don't understand about it is that then some women say no, and I'm thinking that the relationship must have moved from stage to stage before you got to that point. I think you should have an incline that he would propose to you. Why did they now, after the shock, some say no? Why the public proposal if you're not sure of your woman?
She didn't, please, Patience, why are you blaming the guy or the girl?
I know both.
Because people people are, hence this kind of question. They're operating from different perspectives.
How?
Nowadays, wisdom would teach young women, don't have only one gentleman. Wisdom will teach some men, don't have only one lady. Because we've had cases where they have run the rodeo for 9 years, and when it's time to marry, the man put the girl through school. He say she wants to graduate. Please, she can. Meanwhile, he paid her fees in that school. So it's the man who either wasn't reading the signals well or did not do his due diligence.
Then propose in the room where a no will be quiet.
If it were me, that's not the singular most important thing. Anyway, propose to me, I'm fine. If I don't know has saved the man a lifetime of tears, I won't waste my time weeping. I'll say, thank you. You were honest with me. I will now do my due diligence next time. When you see a man who's hitched, any couple, there's been a no, 1 or 2 or 3 somewhere, and it saved them a lifetime of heartache.
But I think the public embarrassment is still unnecessary. Like my director said, those people that say no, say yes, they should arrest them. I don't know what she means by that.
And thank you for your in-house contribution. For me, Patience, I saved my embarrassment for bigger things. So that, please, you've saved my life. I like you don't like me. No, thank you. Bye, be gone. I'm going. Okay. You've saved me. Let's go look for more interesting. That's why Dio told us to be intentional about where our joy comes from. Your joy must come from you. Well, on that very interesting note, although Patience, I wouldn't mind a public proposal someday. And I tell you, I don't do red, green, blue light. The light I'm giving you is the light you'll be seeing. I don't have time to waste time. Well, we're going to Mina. I don't know if they waste time in Mina. So, perhaps if Sule had been here, you'd have told us. If they go for the real deal, or they spend time dancing on the wayside, or they worry about traffic lights. But anyway, do they marry for love or for stability? Mina, tell us more.
As in many parts of Nigeria, the question that often lingers when it comes to marriage is, what are you really marrying for? Is it love or financial stability? Meet Rachel and her husband. They have been married for 14 years, and their journey together is rooted in both love and practical considerations.
When you marry for love, you can see that both of you will come together. The decision will be easier, and that love, let me give you some instances. When you marry for money, the money go away. And sometimes when you marry for love also, you can see that love also fade away. But there is what we call relationship in marriage. When you establish that relationship in marriage, your partner is your companion. Your partner is your brother, is your mother, is your father, is everything that you can communicate with.
I do not marry for money. The primary purpose of marriage is for comfort, if you are able to understand that. Two of you are there to complement one another. You are never on the same baseline. But when you understand yourself, you try to complement one another despite the defect, the challenges, the difficulties. You are able to understand and step up a little when somebody is ahead of you. And when you are ahead, you come down a little bit. So by you complementing one another, sharing in one's weakness or strength makes the home to be a happy place.
Now, let's hear from Aisha and Kabir. Their marriage has lasted over 20 years, and their perspective is shaped by both tradition and love.
We decided to marry because we truly love each other. Though we know without money, we cannot have the kind of life we wanted. Our parents, they wanted us to have some level of financial security before getting married. We are lucky because we started out with a very good job.
Though it's not been easy, but we're able to strive and survive as a result of undiluted love and respect, mutual respect that we both have for each other. Though it has not been easy, love is the bedrock of every relationship. It is pertinent to know that money and love are inseparable, because love is just like a flower that you need to water it to grow. So the relationship, because love alone cannot bring food to the table. So in order to strike a balance, to meet up the financial obligation, one needs to strive very hard so that you can balance up between the two. And in doing so, every family will be happy.
In today's world, the balancing act between love and financial stability is more complex than ever. The social and economic pressures, alongside cultural expectations, continue to shape the way people marry in Mina.
There's no how you will get married to somebody if there is no love. Now, this situation, you should marry who you love. But at the same time, the financial aspect of it is also important, because particularly on the side of the man serves as the provider to the family, and that is why, so to say, most parents will ask certain questions, especially in the courtship. If you present your fiancé to a family, some family, will ask, what does he do for a living? We're not talking about being rich, but on the average, let that person have something doing that will be able to cater for himself, cater for his wife, and if possible, the children.
So, what are you marrying for? Is it love, money, or perhaps a bit of both? In Mina, as in the rest of the world, the answer may differ from person to person, but one thing remains constant: the desire for happiness, stability, and the hope for a future shared with a loved one.
Love or for money? But the question I would like to ask is this: whatever you choose, is love alone enough? And to answer these questions and more, our guest, and it is my pleasure to introduce our first guest. He is Reverend Polycarp Abuja, an architect and a creative consultant. Let's see his profile.
Welcome to Weekend Deal, Dr. Abuja.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Okay, our conversation is stewing, getting already very interesting and rosy behind the scenes. We have another guest. She's a family member of this very interesting Weekend Deal family, and has been on our show several times. Her name is Dr. Julie Omnoviona, a relationship and a parenting coach. Let's see her profile, and then we get to meet her.
Weekend Deal, most welcome. Okay, so like the first question I asked, I'll first throw it to Dr. Julie, is love alone enough? They say love is very critical to a union, but can love alone sustain a marriage as it is now?
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. Well, in those days, love was enough because we were under the tutelage of our parents and the fear of God was there. But presently, love is not enough. The Bible says, money answereth all things. When the money is not there, the love dies naturally. So love is not enough. So the both must be ready to put something on the table. I had issues with my husband my first 10 years because then I was not really doing much. We're always having issues. But when I started supporting, everything changed. It's sweetheart, honey.
Let's do this.
Yeah, because I was now supporting.
Yes.
So love is not enough.
A nice one.
Wow.
Okay.
It's not enough.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Julie. Reverend Baja, you've heard Dr. Julie's pronouncement. Quite engaging, quite interesting. But as she was talking, I wanted us to take a look back. Like she mentioned behind the scenes that when they were younger, I know that some of our parents were married 50. My parents 50-40, my father demised. And I know there are couples who have even done 60. And sometimes it's not because of all the red roses on the table. It's because of the way they were raised. You marry for stay.
Yeah.
And then it's final. Okay. At some point again, we've also seen looks. Some men want beauty queen. Whether she can speak English, whether she can just give me a beautiful, hot woman. Then some ladies want that handsome gentleman. The looks for me are everything. Maybe we'll add it into the mix. Take us back swiftly from maybe 30, 40, 50 years ago. Bring us to where we are now. What has evolved? What has changed? What is quite important? Where are we going?
Today we have knowledge all over the place.
Yeah.
Many things you learned at the age of 40, your children at 17 know.
Yeah.
It's open. I mean, whatever questions you ask, you go to Google, you will ask for it. I came to this place this morning just with a message, on Google. It brought me right to this place. It told, in fact, the internal movement within this compound was told to me by Google to park my car, where to park it. And it was wonderful. And what has happened is that there's a lot of knowledge. We did a lot of things, marriage, relationships, business, and so many other things that we did. Even what we call worship. When you do it outside of knowledge, you get it wrong. We grew up in a culture that did not very much put knowledge where it ought to be. So because of that, people went into marriage without preparation. I mean, to be an engineer or an architect, and a nurse or a doctor, you study. It took you 21 years.
Yeah.
From the time you were in kindergarten
to
right up to, and then you came out, and then you had to go through mentorship, internship to do all of this. But people think that you can just get up and just a little tip for 1 month, you're ready for marriage. And there is no union. There is no partnership in life as strong, as detailed, as exhaustive, as close as marriage. And we go into it without knowing what it takes. At the beginning, when we started talking about love, love is not what many people think. Actually, people equate love to emotions.
Yeah.
Just nice feelings about somebody. That's not what love is. In 1 Corinthians 13 in the Bible, it talks about love, but there's nowhere it talks about feelings. This action. Love is action. It's caring. It's responsibility. I can go on one t-shirt and jeans for my family for 2 months because I want to provide for them. I go through every discomfort so that they attend the best of schools. Now that is love, not a feeling, not whether I feel nice about them or I feel nice about my wife. No, caring is much more than that. And I think that we lost and missed a lot of things when we talk about love. And we just equate it with a feeling. Love is much more than a feeling.
See, Reverend, I like this angle. Love is action. So buy me that Bentley. That's love now.
Love is action.
Well, give me that alert, 1 billion. That is love. While we are talking about that, it's time for the next break. Don't go away.
And that's how we head for Lagos, the center of excellence. What's happening there? Hey, Echo, is it for sure today again? There's talk about age and the pressure to marry. Once you pass 30, we know what our mothers will say. We know what they've been saying. Is it changing the narrative? Lagos Network Center, please take it from here.
Marriage traditionally has been seen as the institution best suited to fulfill parental duties and responsibilities. It's a significant event that involves families, communities, and the entire society. Age has always been a significant factor in shaping societal expectations around marriage.
The way people see ladies when they are older, without children and without a spouse, they just feel probably this one is already sleeping around because of the sexual tendency in people.
This societal blueprint places immense pressure on individuals, pushing them to conform regardless of their personal readiness or preferences.
The decision whether to be married at a particular age or not to be married should be left to the individuals involved. Putting your children under pressure. For instance, my daughter is aged enough to be married, but she's not even interested in all that now. All she's pursuing will be academic excellence. She wants to achieve something for herself, for her life. She's not being pressurized by either me or her mother or anybody.
When you mount pressure on somebody who has not yet understood what is marriage, marriage is not by age. Okay? Marriage is not by age. Marriage is when you quite understand the maturity is in the mind.
Societal norms also dictate the ideal age difference between spouses, typically favoring a dynamic where the man is older.
Some will say for a lady, she should be settled before 25. And then it all depends. But if you can't sustain, a man that cannot provide for his own family is worse than an infidel. So age limits should not be the factor other than the maturity of a man's life. I mean, how prepared the man is and how prepared the lady is. Because if you are not prepared, it may end up in divorce or violence.
Some argue that love and compatibility should transcend age, while others cite potential challenges in traditional gender roles. Modern relationships increasingly prioritize emotional connection. For example, some couples thrive despite unconditional age dynamics, focusing on understanding and growth rather than societal approval.
Culture and tradition also affects, all right? Because if you do what is abnormal to a particular culture, you will be stigmatized. And once you are stigmatized, you will not enjoy your stay within that environment. So culture and tradition may affect also the age variation.
The most important thing is married with a sense of true love, whether old or young. But at the same time, if the age difference is too wide, compatibility will be strange.
However, there is growing recognition that successful marriages are built on compatibility, communication, and shared values, rather than arbitrary timeline or age differences.
I used to brag to my friends that I'd always be okay, but since I set my eyes on you, mama, you done make me fall for you.
Love, and I love weddings. Not because of only the jollof rice, so I know some people say, hey, you like food, jollof rice weddings, but the whole thing called wedding, of course, the jollof rice. Joining our conversation now is another guest. He is Daddy Ade Palmer. He's a fashion designer and an entrepreneur. He has a profile. Let's see it.
We welcome you to Weekend Deal today, Dandy Ade Palmer.
Thank you.
Fashion designer, entrepreneur, role player too. So you are stepping into a very interesting role today. We're going to assume that at some point in your life, you're looking to propose to a lady, the bone of your bone, expectedly. Okay, patients talked about jollof fries. They serve fried rice too. They serve moi. There's also swallow, and we can't wait to come and join you that day and
Yes, so
celebrate.
I can't
you.
wait myself.
Yes.
Can't wait. Oh, I like that.
Nice one. Nowadays, we find that many young people focus more on the fried rice, the different meal courses, the 10 or 15 outfits they wear, much more than what will happen after that day. But before I jump the gun, are you in a relationship? Are you going to be proposing soon? Will it be a public display?
I'm talking with someone.
Talking stage.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm interested in someone.
Yeah, this Gen Z.
Is she aware that you are interested in her?
Yeah.
Are you her only?
No, I can't vouch. I can only speak for myself.
Then you intend to propose, you've not done your due
Times are
diligence?
crazy. You know,
Times are crazy.
I can only speak for myself. So when you start saying we are in love, no, I'm in love with someone.
Where is the
I can't
area
speak
of
for the
love?
person. Huh?
Where is the area of trust and love? When you are going to be proposing to somebody, you don't trust her.
No, you trust her.
If you trust, you should be able to say that yes, categorically, she's for me.
Yeah, it depends on what one is looking out for. Personally, I look out for peace, friendship.
Okay.
And when I'm in a friendship with a female and I find some level of satisfaction in just seeing her happy, at that point I know I'm in love with her. Because everything I do, I now want to I know when I do like this, it makes her smile. And when I see her crack that smile, it gives me, so.
But love or money though?
For me.
Love or money though? Would you like, when you finally get hitched to her, if you are so lucky, will it be a case of you want to provide for all her needs, or you're looking forward to a future where she will be a willing contributor to the financial commitment of your home you'll be building together?
Okay, I'm going to start off by saying my father was a reverend before he passed on. I didn't get to enjoy him for too long, but I know a lot. That's why I act right around kids, because my father died I was quite young, but I know so much. And I just know for a fact that if you want to commit for long term, first off, you have to make a long list of what you want, right? He has to be this, he has to be that, or she has to be, and become that list.
Oh, you become that list.
Yeah, so it's energy, you start to attract.
The right
you
energy.
know, it's like some people, you say you're looking for a wife and you go club. The chances that you're going to get a decent person is almost non-existent. Sometimes people say you're looking for love and you go to church. Church be like hospital. Some people, they respond to treatment. Some people know they respond. Some people go die put.
So you become the good husband a good woman is seeking.
Yeah, then you draw that.
But you've not answered that
draw
question.
Huh?
You've not answered her question.
Yeah, please bring it again.
Provision for the home.
Yeah,
Would you be content if the wife you marry is not a willing contributor? If you are the sole provider, financial provider in your home, would you expect her to
provide? The man is supposed to provide. I believe so.
Yes.
Because God created everything revolves around the man. The woman is more like a support system for the man. She's his inspiration to be all things. And then God threw in a little something to make it interesting. He made intercourse pleasurable to some, so the procreation period, is not so boring and all of that. So even though we abuse it, I'm guilty myself, but God designed everything to revolve around the man. So the woman is supposed to inspire the man to be at his all-time best. But unfortunately, my generation the woman doesn't offer anything aside that sexual pleasure. So that's more like, that's your reward and that's it. Nothing else. And again, I believe love. I pick love over that finance, whatever, because it's
the question is, will you want your wife?
He has said yes.
I'd said yes. I want to provide, but I wouldn't mind support. Yeah, I wouldn't mind
a support.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because at time will come in the marriage when the expenses will be so alarming, and just a little thing will stir up anger in you. Then the next thing is, you, this woman, you are just here to come and devour me. It's happening. Let's be realistic.
Most people just sort of like shoot themselves in the foot from beginning, because you get in for the wrong reasons. You know, when as a woman you already put your peg on, the man has to have this. He has to earn 6 figures and nothing less. First of all, you have eliminated 85% of eligible men globally. 85% are not earning 6 figures on a global scale. Let's put it in naira.
Okay.
So you are left with 15%. Half of this 15% are married. You are left with 7.5.
Yes.
3.5 out of these 7.5 have a weird sexual orientation, such that maybe some are attracted to men.
They don't even know what
so
they
you
are.
are left with 4%. And inside this 4%, you want him to be tall, you want him to be dark, you want him to be God-fearing, you want him to be this. You have this mental picture of what you want, and then you have eliminated like another 3. So you're left with 1%. And men that earn that kind of money have their own desire. He himself gets your own woman when you want. Are you that?
NTA Port Harcourt will be taking us on another dimension to this conversation. They're looking at mommy's boy. Who is the mommy's boy, and how do mommy's boys handle marriage and all? NTA Port Harcourt, take it away.
The Son, and the Holy Spirit. I'm thinking of going on a vacation with my wife, but I don't have any location where we should go. Do you have anywhere in mind you would like us to go?
Do you mean you're going on vacation with your wife? What about me?
Well, am I supposed to go on vacation with you?
Of course! I don't know your mother. You're my only child. You have to take me along. What will I be in Nigeria to do? London, go and I'll be here alone. Doing what? That your wife that can spend. Only shoe. She will come 45,000, 50,000, 100,000. Look at the shoe me I'm wearing. She will say it's Italian shoe. What is wrong with China? Or what is wrong with Abba shoes? Is it not the same shoe we are still matching on the ground? So you want to take her to UK so she will finish you? Abba, no.
The Alpha our discussion now.
Hey, what is it? Why are you interrupting me when I'm talking to my son? What is wrong with you, this woman? What is it? Haven't you done enough? Look, this trip, either I go or this trip cancel. Only one baby you gave us. It will not work. Emeka, if you don't take me on this trip, it will cancel. It will cancel. I carried this boy 9 months. I told you his father left us and ran away. I cleaned you single-handedly. I told you not to marry this woman. Emeka, I told you.
When a mother gets involved, the first thing is not just to create problems for her son or for her children. It is to ensure that her children do not suffer and they don't go through some of the pain she may have gone through.
Our fathers, they don't really care. What all their own is, bring the girl, where is she from? Okay, she's okay, let's go ahead. But the mothers who want to go deep down to know her roots, it's not as if they are doing what is bad. They are only looking out to make sure that their son has the right partner that will actually give them peace.
The young lady walked into a house. Mothers will know if this one actually came for marriage or came for money. So sometimes mothers resist on this parameter of negative attitude already discerned from the young lady. So, and that's the way of saving the son.
If we don't check ourselves as mothers and know when to draw the line, our intentions become misconstrued, misunderstood, and then our intentions that are supposed to be good become bad and then create more problems for our children.
Everything is your mother's decision. You are a mommy's boy. In fact, they don't need to call such a person a man. He's still a boy, even if he's 80 years. Because what makes a man is that he manages all nature.
It has happened to somebody I know. The person was shot, and instead of him to say, take me to the hospital, take me to the house, and he was married, and he told his mom, Mommy, they have shot me on the leg. Before they could move him from there to the hospital, he died because he wanted mommy to know he has been hurt. That is a mommy's boy. Practical example.
A friend who the father will say, no, you have to stay here.
where's your wife? Your wife have to go to stay in the guest room. You have to, just like that. Even when he's married.
You can't actually cut away maternal ties, but the thing is, know what you want, stick to your spouse, and share little.
If you're a young man listening to me, it is your responsibility to protect your wife. It is your responsibility to prepare your mom and your family for the new person that you're bringing into the family. It is your responsibility to shield and defend her from the things that she may face as she's coming into that marriage, and prepare the ground to make it easier for her.
Okay, that was quite interesting. Mommy's boy. We also have daddy's girls. Okay, before they went to Port Harcourt, to that very engaging package, we were talking with Dandy. He had aired his views. Dr. Julie has spoken. Let's hear from Reverend Baja. And let's also tie it with the mommy's boy, daddy's girl syndrome and the impact it has when a young couple finally ties the knot. With the view of love or money, what makes a good union?
It takes a whole lot more than what we call love. Actually, what we refer to as love is just emotions. We talk about feelings. Most times when Nigerians are talking about love, they're talking about feelings, not love. Love is solid action. It's service. Love is caring. It's responsibility. It's taking charge of things. It's making room, making way, and creating structures and systems of operation in the home. It is understanding your partner and being able to say, what can I do to make this person the best? When I see what the Bible says in Ephesians chapter 5, it says, husband, love your wife. It means
unconditionally
caring for her unconditionally, like Christ. And you know what it tells me is that for me as a man, the most important thing, when I find a woman that my instinct is to care for her all my life, I found a wife.
Okay.
And for a woman, when it says submit, listen, it didn't say obey. It means that when a lady finds a man, she is willing to submit to. Now, submission is conditional on respect. Which means when you find a man, not necessarily just a man, you see, love is assumed. But however much you love a man, if you don't respect the man, you can't submit. I think we make a lot of mistake to think that respect for women is natural. In fact, it is the opposite. Women don't respect you naturally. They submit to you and respect you on the basis of who you are. And when people get married many times, they think you will get married to a woman because she will submit to you. No, a woman will submit to a man she respects. And you must be that man all her life that she looks up to and she respects in your manner of communication, in the way you exchange in things and the roles that you play as a person. And this is so important. If we don't teach those values, people jump into it. Listen, you can be turned on by 1,000 men before and after you get married. But when you find a girl you really love, it's not because there are no other hotter babes, finer babes, more educational, more spiritual and intellectual babes. No, it's because you found this person. In fact, sometimes she may not even be well behaved. And then you say, it's my job. I'm going to fix that in her. She is going to become the best woman on this earth. You find that lady, you found a wife. And for a lady, whatever you are given as your references, if you don't have a man that you can submit to, respect enough, because there will be times in your lives when the man may even earn less than you do, but because of your respect for that person, you can say, hey, here is money, here is what I have, here's what I have to offer, because you trust his judgment and leadership. And those are things we have not taught our people. So you have us grow into a culture today of flimsiness, of fallen values. And so that's why you see that when you see people talking about weddings, they're just talking about outward conveniences and comfort and revelings, and not about what marriage truly is as companionship, and that marriage is actually for purpose. Adam didn't even know he was lonely and he needed a person. He was busy organizing the world, and God said, that's why it's God's idea, not man's idea.
True.
It's not good for man to be alone.
But again, I was going to say something about love language and what love means to different people.
Yes.
For you, I really love the action. You know, I love that, the action of it. Show me you love me. Bring those things to the table. And they said, take me to Paris. Let's do this thing. That's action.
Is that your value?
Well, let's wait now. They say it's better to cry in a Bentley than in a Keke Napep.
Okay.
Okay, let's put that aside. Now, Dr. Julie, for us women, there's this emotional connection we want with our men. Being able to emotionally connect, being able to speak. So, here is a man who is putting action, doing all the things he thinks he's doing. That's for him the love language. For women, why do some women be in a relationship like that and still feel lonely? When the man is providing, the place of emotional connection.
Yeah, it's not about the provisions alone. Like you rightly said, respect and connection. You know, relationship is all about emotions. It comes from the mind. So if the woman is emotionally traumatized and the man is not seeing anything, no matter the billions he dropped on the table, it will not solve that problem.
True.
So marriage is connection between the man and the woman. And so if the connection is missing, then there's no relationship.
Nothing.
There won't be any intimacy. True. And that's where sex comes in. You know, God has been so good to families. And that's why he created those sex organs. That's where you have the best communication. It's a means of communicating to one another. And you say that a family that is sexually sanctified, they rarely have issues. Even when they have issues, they quickly settle themselves because they know that they are going back there to have fun and take themselves to the climax where you don't even remember offenses. So it's not all about money. We need one another.
Okay.
Okay. Can I take some messages?
Okay. Take one or two.
Okay.
We're about to drive out of Abuja.
Yes,
but please tell us what our viewers are saying.
Our viewers are talking. I say, good morning. Or truly, love alone is not enough. When it comes to marriage, for me, I married for love, but I still need my wife to contribute to the family house running. From Benson, this is Benson speaking. Okay, I'm in a relationship, but my boyfriend, he said he's just a friend to me. I don't know what to do. It doesn't show any situationship.
I think that's the word out there these days, right? I've seen it in novels and films.
The marriage is for love and not for business. Love endures, but money does not. MC Elachi. Okay. And if somebody spoke to you, said the fact that you meet a girl in the club does not mean she's a bad girl. Some good girls go to club and some bad guys and boys go to church. Please change your mind.
You should find a wife there.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Let's
go. Very interesting feedback there. You know, we're talking earlier behind the scenes about dishonesty. Some will color the truth. They'll call it euphemism. Some will say they are keeping up appearances. Some will go as far as saying, I don't want to hurt his or her feelings. But if you're not speaking the truth from the get-go, are you contributing positively to a long-term relationship? Well, Jo's been doing the research. Jos, please share with us.
In Nigeria, marriage is a significant institution that goes beyond the union of two individuals. Rather, it is the joining of two families. In today's society, the line between love and materialism are often blurred.
The emotional love that many people use as a prerequisite for getting married was not designed as a major criteria for getting married. That is why you hear people say love is not enough, because that emotional love has an expiry date.
Pretense and dishonesty during courtship can be staggering, but what happens when the truth eventually comes out?
Every marriage starts from courtship, and if at courtship you're not able to be truthful to each other, what that means is that getting into marriage, there's going to be so much distrust. If you can be open to each other from courtship, what that means that you're heading towards a loyal and faithful marriage and loving marriage. So pretense in courtship most times leads to separation, because sooner or later when the truth comes out, not everybody is able to condole it, and if person can't condole it, it creates distance between your relationship and communication. And where there's communication, most distant communication most times leads to separation.
In those days when our parents marry within communities, people are getting married online now. People are relating with people online. And so the social media is a place where people project who they are not. And I tell people that beyond what a person projects online, make sure they can balance that with what you see physically. Because the social media life is actually, majority of it is fake. People are not real. In fact, I said there's all kinds of filters now that make people look like who they really are not. So if you are looking at just what you see on the social media, you may be missing out.
Marriage is a partnership that requires effort, understanding, and open communication. Therefore, it should be built on love, trust, and honesty, as that is what truly matters in a relationship.
Oh goodness, love is beautiful. Love is always beautiful. Let me quickly take this. He said, I love this topic. Please, can you package it for seminars or conference around higher institutions, especially with pre-marriage time, children in that age cadre? Florence Omoni Johnson, Delta State. Thank you so much, Thelma.
This is
That's
interesting.
something.
You know, my heart leapt when I heard that. He didn't leap for Dandio. He didn't leap for Reverend Baja. He leapt when I had the time.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Julie has spoken a bit. Same with Reverend Baja. Let's come to you, Dandy. Based on all what you've heard from, let me say, elders, being married for over 3-4 decades. What has changed in your own view? Are there things you want to re-examine based on where you are, with a view to tightening something?
You can't know everything. I learn every day. I learn randomly from the conductor, the average guy, everywhere. And I try to not speak unless I'm spoken to, if I'm amongst elders. So when I'm giving audience, I really say, you know that I've been listening. So I picked a lot. From her angle, there's how I feel like I can fine tune my woman, towards a certain angle, and from things he has said, I could just work on myself to, become a better spouse in the long run. And that brings me back to I think there was a comment, someone said something about a club.
She goes to club, but she's
there's a popular saying that goes, you stand for inside garage, kuku means say you be Bentley. So being in the church doesn't mean you're a good person, or like vice versa. There are good people in the club. Sometimes some people just be like, I want to just hear this loud music, just clear my mind. I'm a weird guy. Sometimes I just wake up and take walks around 3 a.m. if I can't sleep and I'm working maybe writer's block or whatnot. So at the same time, I still feel like there's something we left untouched, sort of. That whole mommy's boy, daddy's girl thing. I feel it's a very big and sensitive topic that we tend to shy away from. Because personally, if I can't imagine being in a relationship with a female, okay, and like we're married, and now I'm like, babe, let's change the curtains. I think these are old or old-fashioned or whatnot. And she's like, I have to call my dad. I'm like, okay, babe, let's go for a vacation. I think we should let's go Bahamas now. Let's go here. Let's go. And she's like, nah, I have to check in with my dad. You might as well go make a baby with your dad.
No,
what's going on?
The issue is during courtship, those things has to be discussed. Because most times we shy away from those facts. And that's why after marriage, it becomes a problem. In our own time, we were not told, we were not opportuned we were not bold enough to ask questions. These days, you have to ask the questions. How are we going to live our life? What kind of lifestyle are we going to live? How many children are we going to have? How are we going to be spending the money? Who takes
what negative effects do you think mommy's boy syndrome have?
That's what I'm trying to say. You have to discuss it.
Yeah. But this mommy's boy, daddy's girl, is he always bad?
It's
they
bad.
have some advantages.
Well, no. We talk about
marriage sorry, please. Marriage is between husband and wife.
The two shall become one.
The two shall cleave to become one. So what you need to discuss is, how are we going to take care of our parents?
I think tomorrow we're going to I think our topic tomorrow is on the traditional rules of in-laws. We're going to delve more on this. Somebody, before I go on the last break, somebody said, your guest, Reverend Baja, is a doer, not a sayer. He practices what he says. If possible, I would choose him again and again as my brother-in-law. Yes, he's married to my sister, Dr. Ronke Baja. Okay, so it's time for a break as we clap.
Is back to the studio. Final words. Let me start with you, Dandy. One phrase.
Okay, just be yourself. Be honest. Be open about your intentions. If they love you for you, it's a win.
Reverend Baja.
Love is caring. It's responsibility. It's respect.
Dr. Julie.
God has 2 commandments for couples in relationship. Husband, love your wife unconditionally as God loves the church. And wife, submit to your husband as unto God.
Okay. I'll just say, somebody wrote to me, I said, love without money na trouble, oh. Money without love na wahala, oh. But the two together is so sweet. Balance.
I would say, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. If you are choosing money and things go south, silently enjoy it. If you choose love and things don't work out, live with it too. But if you want to mix and match as we are wont to do often, well, I'm riding with you all the way. God bless us all. Bye-bye. Bye.